So, welcome back to our Let's Talk About a Blog. Yeah, and I want to continue this second about it further. As you have the first with the software running little computer here. So I took the website in the software, it appears better. This is the problem we have here for the screen. When I minimize the software, it should actually show only the screen and anything what happened on the screen. Something went wrong there, maybe with the setting. Figure out this. What is the problem there? And so we just try it this way. The blog always has to load itself again. I don't know why it is. We have an idea. So we will go back to where we finished yesterday. There was the playlist, and here we behind this. It has to load as well. Even I said so. We have this playlist with Michael Tellinger. As you have heard in the first video already, but I also found out it's not a good idea to speak while as soon as he's talking, you my
this mag some of this the and talking about
so I recommend to watch this clip, of course, if you especially about high sound. Seems to be something they like to use in the heliocentric worldview. As you know, the measurement in light years and whatever. But in I think 2011 in some university in the US, that sound is faster than light. And what I said in the last video was because like word, they call it the bang. Sound of the great split started everything. is videos. This song you have heard in the video. This is a song of Ernst Busch, a communist songwriter, but he wrote the song after the war. To sing this together, but it's only one-sided.
Was ist uns allein? Diese Feld ruft heute ein Land du siehst. Doch sind hier Frieden. Drum an rein rühren. Und oben sieht
done already. Go back to Michael Tellinger. You can look at it and see it in the list.
And some new research that is really has to be addressed, and that is the flat earth that has been
has been making a lot of waves and is still continuing to do this. This is something to think about. Ernst Busch, Go Home. You can hear this German song. And then we have community in Germany. It's common language live, and something similar is also Swiss language. And about flat. One video I would recommend is this year at Bravo to buy. Then also a video about curvature. There are so many videos missing curvature. Both videos are very much in common. One guy, he translated a video of this thing of the Titanic. Actually find also this is this behind JP Morgan money. And John Jacob Astor. And after the sinking Federal Reserve Bank established, it was an attack like September 11. So it's very interesting to find out this. But my suggestion is it was sunken by an iceberg, which in my opinion is impossible. Steel against ice, but by bomb in the machine. And there's no evidence about this, of course. September 11, no real clues what they did, but that's my suggestion. And then you have the history of European property. It's in German, but you might find it also. So what will happen to Europe? It's very interesting because all very similar from different or even from there. Then you have the day of Alexander Wagand and Joe Conrad. There might be also some material. The Hier Botschaft, Hib's message of Ian Job. He's doing some hangouts, and on Sundays on Flat Earth Live, but it's in German language. Also Tony Mahoney, also in German language. Then another Flat Earth community. This is really for not use model can be always falsified. It's only a geocentric model. There are always some things you cannot even access, like the heliocentric model, the globe. How can you walk around the globe? So this cannot be only with magic world. And the geocentric worldview Earth is of course very explainable, but we always go to something which is like fiction, something we have to see, we actually don't know what is up there, what is below us, and what is to the side. Maybe there's an ice ring, maybe it's a round flat Earth, yeah, because of the ice ring, but maybe outside is a square, and above us is a dome, but there's something above. It could be a pyramid, the shape of a pyramid, or it could be a sphere as well. Yeah. You want like a magic ball, magic where the Almighty God will look at. Yeah. Whatever it could be, this is only imagination, so we can this is maybe some truth in it as well, but you will never know, and this is of course not very scientific. And then we have this split done by Astrotony. This video here, flat live shows, and he sticks to the flat Earth model. Yeah? Because with the model you can express this better. And for those who believe in flat Earth, they will stick to this and they will just these ideas. I can only give ideas. There's no proof for this. So now this flat Earth community is split. I think all these things are necessary. It happens because you have this slope has, and just you cannot bend water around, or you cannot do this in an experiment. You cannot show. You cannot prove. So that reality is not proven only by formulas. So some crazy slope head fascist, they don't care. They just believe and defend it. But others, they might think it's actually very. When I think bend around a ball, but I can never show it. You know, gravity has to be around us. But when I pull water over a ball, or even a very heavy metal ball, we know all about once the water will just pour down. It will not stick to the globe. And the same is also for the air. The air will just circulate around whatever. And so it's not possible when we have gravity all around us. Yeah. So when you cannot prove this by an experiment as similar as possible, we know of course that a ball cannot be like the Earth. We have no model which looks like the Earth. Yeah. Also not flat Earth. So when these people understand this, they would eventually the flat Earth model. I would look at this and think, oh, this is also possible. Maybe 50-50. Some truth here and some truth there. And this is this in German language only. This situation, the German speaking community, who then think, oh, this model is also, the globe heads are also right. Something because we simply don't go up there ourselves. 120 kilometers is finished. Is there the dome? Or is the dome in Chile 90 kilometers high? And at Polaris, or at the North Pole 150 kilometers. Does it have a spherical shape? Excuse me. We don't know. So these are many questions, but it's from all sides. Then I have also some guy, he's called himself system test. When you could look at this channel videos for everyone to listen. Also, I don't know if he has something in English, but he's talking about about experience outside the body. experiences and so on. Whatever. This is very interesting, this video, and we have he has also English videos, because I think he's a Spaniard quite well, and German. I just you can at least from the one who has uploaded this, you can find out the name and watch his videos. He has very much insight about black, white, Freemasonry, Jesuits, Satanic, Matrix. Interesting to explanations from Reinhard May. He all makes French songs, and this song careful or watch out. This was also 20, and actually you could listen to this song a little bit. The song of Hatikah, the Israeli anthem. Gracias. I think so. I hope the sound will come because it, even on my screen, it doesn't.
Mich an die Alten auf den Vor. Ich denke, der Schritt ist ein Glück, dann ist ein Schritt. Volk zu Besonnenheit, aber sie meinen Untertan. Man ist nicht beim An. Du sie dumm. Sei die vom selber. Auf das eine mit deinem ich mal nach
This was a small what he is singing, no? So then the story, I don't know. Last year was a story with someone in Germany. They find out now the law and the justice, and they study the law, just ordinary people, and they realize that thing is not as it should be. School that yeah, there is a state, government, and so on for taking care of us. Mother state, and so the people waking up and realizing we have to take care of ourselves. We have to take it in our own hands. So they are learning about the system, and they are reading the law and try to find what the meaning is. Cause for certain judgments which are not really understandable for the peoples. And so one guy, he tried very offensive, and finally he got and he's on prison. And this is about that. If you add you see certain videos about development of story, it's in German language, but you can see the action, some of the action, and so radio, you describe Detlef, and another video, Alchemy, Sacred Seals Revealed. I wanted to know about alchemy. It's not easy to understand, but if you are interested, it's good to. Since born in Germany, there were Monday in many, and this is not even be shown because now it doesn't. But anyway, it shows very active movement in East German. You can take a look. A very interesting but very long video is documentation ritual, about 8 hours. There's a lot of until and also validation of towers. Open your eyes here in News Radio. Nice documentary, Under the Dome. I don't know if this is from Eric Dubay or somebody else. And then also about so there are different activities in Germany. Try to find out how to do things. And then we have the lyric of the Snake, narrated by Donald J. Trump. Played it in the. I will play it again. This will come in the next today. But we have another nice song from. This is the song or Hatred, and they are singing about idiots and idiot coming from Greek. It means private person. It's a private person again.
Doch in ihren Därmen, da ist Scheiße wie bei allen anderen auch.
because they said which is absolutely true. Good and idols. This is about also the music industry. You have the supporters of, you know, the super, the idiots and idols. You know, idiots, because they are for, you know, in the they were singing already before, you know. Make its own crowd. Sing. No problem. I just want to sit right. Down the wrist. Playlist. Things that I wanted to. Beethoven, Bach, Chopin. There are many others as well. And then the very interesting view about the system. Give me the word. They have it in English, but you know, it's an animation. How this happened? The figure the name was in a shoe. We created this. And even you don't find this in English, it's further to this. You can see in the page how things work, and with the interest of the artificial world. People don't understand anything about money. I can I have a lot of ground, and they crash. And this wisdom of the you will learn when the levy is cut, you cannot eat money. There is I will also play another video as well. And then there's talking about different German topics and also so on. Videos he's making, but of course, also believable things as well. It's interesting to look at this. We have MMS, CDL, which can cure even cancer. He has only an German language. Detlef shows why quite but he's talking quite direct, I have to say. As me, but he in Europe, in Switzerland, can catch him very easily. Then another interesting guy is brother Nathaniel. Brother Nathaniel looks quite normal people here in the video, but he is an Orthodox. This guy, he talks about the international Jewry. Only we stuff for Orthodox and for Putin. And Putin is, of course, Freemason, member of the club. So his brother is also criticizing not Putin. This is his weakness. Because he's also telling you who's not. Yeah? Most of the people you have certain experience. You can tell people of influence. Another Jew, Dave Watson, 4 years ago, about refugee crisis is all in English, together with Alex Jones. You have to be careful about information yourself. I did spread this information, but information are information. Research for yourself. Watch this young. My first video was and then I started only to like videos that not to like the author
Guys, Michael McDonnell here. If ever you were stuck in a jungle and you need some food or water.
Indeed we are. Now this is actually a very useful thing for beings because cooking, it's milk drinking, and you can even use it in your hair for shampoo. What is it, Nico? Well, we actually call this the tree of life. I'm going to be climbing this buckle tree. I'm going to try and get some coconuts. I've never actually done this before. Well, where's the bolo? We had a bolo somewhere. That's a machete. Usually they have grooves in them to like put your feet in, so it's like easier to climb. But this one doesn't, so I think it's actually going to be quite a difficult task. We should have looked at using this tree actually. My bolo just. I'm not going to be able to. I'm not too sure about this. My feet are too soft as well. I'm going down. I'm going. It's hard, man. because there's no foot grooves like I keep saying. So you just gotta like hold on to it and then slowly shuffle up. But then you're against gravity. You can never win against gravity.
Can't use your shoes to climb trees. You need to go barefoot. First is take off my shoes. Well, I've actually never done this before. I've seen people do it, and it's really hard. I don't think we can do this, man. It's really hard. Alright, so that was a good effort by me. If at first you fail, try again. Because in the jungle, you are gonna starve to death. So, you need to get that food up there. And you are smoking this coconut tree, so don't let it beat you, alright? I'm scared. Plan is get a ladder maybe?
Or so if you're surviving in the jungle, you gotta whip out a ladder.
Yes! Hard.
So we got
Right, and that's what you do. You hire professional help, someone who's been trained in the arts of climbing boko trees.
So at last you saw how the Filipino is doing this. Small man, but with the right technique, you can do it. He's easily going up. So now I am turning into my blog that I want to talk about. So the blog has to load first again. But anyway, so I did the playlist. I think it was better this time. And maybe for the other videos I will just do the same. We will see. So I do this, better do this inside the website. Inside the software. Just a second, it will come up. Today the phone is silent. I have to set the time also, but anyway, it's coming up already. Select. Time setting. Now it's 12:10 already. Okay, so now it should be possible to move down. Or not? Yes, it's coming. So there's the playlist I was playing. And so I have some quotes of myself. It's saying the truth is just a question of how we see things. And when we assume something, we think it is true. So the truth is actually everywhere available for those who can see. So you have to sharpen your eyes, you have to ask questions, you have to find out, you have to investigate, like, you know, police investigator, criminologist, and then you will know more. Maybe not the whole truth, for sure not, but you will know more. You are closer to the truth. So, and that's why everybody thinks he's true, he's correct in this, and the world is like this. And another one, he will think the opposite and think it's also true. So we will have to wait and see. Then you know already talking about the meaning, the true meaning of words by definition and by interpretation. Usually words have a very clear definition, and why they have many meanings? Because they do interpretation. Definition of word rooted. That means you go to the root word, where the word is coming from. Mostly from Latin language, or part of the word, Greek language, maybe also Hebrew, and maybe also other languages. Until very old ancient languages also. Yeah. So you have to look at this, at the word, so you will find out the meaning. But what people do is they were given a certain interpretation by officials, and when people ask, does it mean? It means like this. And I want to give an example, the words positive and negative. We use now the words positive and negative. I remember since more than 20 years, who wants to talk smart at that time is using the words of normally of the doctors in the hospital. They use this positive, and there you will find out also what is the true meaning. So, and then we talk about in bad things, say, oh, that's positive thinking, and negative. We have negative thoughts or whatever. It's not good, that's negative. Instead of saying that's not good, we say it's negative. You are so negative, or whatever. But in actual fact, these people use it all wrong, and this is really for all people. Maybe I'm just the only one who's tries to use it right. And when sometimes I have also positive, negative in my mind, but I try not to put it out and just to say, oh, this is not good or this is bad. So positive does good. It does not mean good. So you see the interpretation is doing quite the opposite from what it actually should be. And this is evil twisting around of the meaning. That's why the world is upside down. And negative doesn't mean bad. It does not mean bad. And I'll show you why these terms totally wrong. Positive means yes, yes to it. Yeah, I say yes to it, positive. And negative means it's now the examples of the doctor. When you are in hospital and the doctor visits you with the nurses, and he asks the nurses questions, and they look in the documents, and then he's asking, does this patient have AIDS? And she says negative. What does it mean? It means he does not have AIDS. It means no, he does not have AIDS. But negative is not bad. That's a good news. Okay? So you have to see it this way. and especially for those people who want to be intellectual, they should really understand and use it that way also. So when we talk about this person is artificial, but um, this human, call it a human. This is a positive human, positive thinking. Then it means only this is a human who most likely says yes to everything. Yeah. But it doesn't mean that this is good. When somebody says yes, 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 government, yes, everything. This this is the so-called good human I mentioned before in the last video. So-called good human, the hypocrite. He's always saying yes just to swim with the to have easy life. Um, this kind of positive human is just working for the system. Is a slave of the system until he cannot do it. And the moment will come. I think it is very close. So he is a slave, but on his own choice. This is very important. Of course, with bait, the bait is money. So they misuse him, but he is actually misusing himself. But most of the people don't realize that they are slaves, but slaves in the worst meaning. Because actually slave means when you read the Bible, you're serving someone. It's like you're helping someone. It also has a good meaning. It's nice to be a slave of your wife, and she can be a slave of her husband. That's all okay. But to be a slave of others who you don't know, who are just using you and profiting from you, to be a slave of a system that is satanic, slaves of a delivered. They don't realize this. So that means nowadays we need actually the negative man, not human. There's also a difference between human and man, and I think I will come to it later, or I will just say it now. There's the Black's Law Dictionary, and there you find out about every word meaning defined, and human refer to monster. Monster. Just think, what is this? So you think first of horror be a monster, and sometimes you think, oh, that's right actually. Human that I meet or stories even in the TV looks like monsters, like zombies. But anyway, monster we call also the children, little monsters. And then you understand it better. What is the meaning of monster? Look up in Black's Law Dictionary what monster really means. I didn't do it, but I can get this book in England. Then in the library, look it up. Impose information here because I made my own definition just by the input from outside or from inside. Yeah. From my insight, that I can say monster referring to the kids, that means out of control. They don't know what they're doing. What is sort of written in the Bible? Forgive them as they don't know what they are doing. So don't be angry with other people, even hurt sometimes, because they are just idiots. They are real idiots. Yeah? Idiot, private person. Yeah? Private comes from the Latin word privare. That means robbed. You are being robbed. And person is a mask. That means private person means nothing else than you are a shadow of yourself. Yourself, the self, that self in you, the inside. You can also say the soul. So you're only a shadow of this. You're just actually you are outside of yourself. That means the soul is not connected with the brain. So the brain is just manipulating also, and you are like this. And you can find it out every day, especially. Yeah, a negative man. So what mankind has to do is you evolve from human, from monster, to man. Be a man. This also counts for the women. Yeah? So human and man has a difference. You have to ask yourself as an English speaker why they have this or in German that who is that means who's man. This so it's not, you can say also it's not developed yet or formed yet, or whatever I can call this. Maybe this is also not the right. So it is still a child. Even the one is 60 years old, it is still a child and will die as a child. The system wants the dependency. They don't want dependent people. Everyone dependent until it's not just, just everyone is dependent. This is really so that means even the Freemason people and the Pope and whoever, Putin and Trump and so on, it's all about them as well. So the change can only come from all sides, only when they understand. And I guess people go really downhill until they cannot make it no way, then they will just turn away. People turn away, the system will collapse. But monster is also to me another. If you have monster, you have two words. You have man, like Monday, and Monday. Because the old Julian calendar, Monday is the start of the new. This is the moon. Yeah, every 7 days, 28 days. So that means monsters refer to moon. And is from the German word Stern. Stern. You know, the Stern Show. Moon star. And you have the moon symbol is the Islamic symbol. You see, it's not a half moon, it's a sickle, moon sickle. It's also not really a moon sickle. Face that it's not exactly what can observe at the moon. So it has also another meaning also. But there's a star in the moon. When you understand the color silver and moon means you dream. And then you have the star. And the star is actually, if you around the star, you have the Baphomet Lucifer. Satan. You see the lines, but usually the lines are filled out. Blacks, Soviet, China, USA, many other countries. So the star is actually representing the human. You have spread your legs and your arms to the side, and you look the star. You can this is your head, the brain, and then you have the four elements of life or of this earth. This is water, air, and earth. So you have the four eyes and the human head. One could also say the human heads the world, and this is put into the moon. That means the human illusion, the human is asleep since some years, and or put into sleep. Now everyone is sleeping, but 2012. This is why this all happens, and this happens automatically to everyone. If not the who are the people, but only maybe 144 Jews, and the rest are not, can wake up, and other people, they have maybe such a dark spirit, they will be the food for Satan for the peace coming time, 100 years. We for Satan when he's going to the but that's everyone's decision. So you understand man in the moon, that means or human in delusion as well. And so this is everyone has to find out. So the now we need the negative man. The man, that means he says no. Why should I try? I cannot push too far. Only as much as possible push too far, because in actual don't need to do much. Everyone automatically, because since the sun is coming back, but the sun coming back, but in this case I mean not SON but SUN, the sun. So the sun is rising up again, and whoever looks into the direction, look, you see already some light. We call it dawn. Some light coming up, but don't look in the direction. Even we say look, you can see. Flat Earth is maybe like. And these people don't want to. They walk into the darkness, and they walk into the darkness. They walk actually away from. They have to flee from the day. Okay, let them flee. So their protection would be go underground again to their bunkers, whatever. These kind of spirits, I call them the reptiles or reptilians. Okay, they can be active for sure. This is like with the they can only be active in nighttime. All these stories, they actually match. It's like a fairy tale with some truth in it. And those who seek the light will turn around, turn away from the darkness to the light. and this is what the people have to do. And so walk the day. The walking people, or the people who are in the process of waking up, they are walking towards the light. Means they will come closer to it, and others who try to will not be as fast as the sun is coming. They have to go underground if they are really dark. But all others who want to save themselves will have to at least wait. Yeah, it will catch them anyway. It's like when you would like to run away in the morning, away from the sun, run as fast as possible. The sun will come up and it will be more light. And you have the daylight and the night is gone, and then everyone is woken up. This is the time when we have about 1,000 years peace. It's a cycle. It's like always repeating itself, and the next cycle is coming for the water bearer. You know, about the stars. We are now still in the constellation of what is this? The Pisces. That's why the Christians use this fish symbol, and before we had Aries, juice, probably juice, not the fake juice like nowadays. Anyway, this is how it is, and we will see. But I'm confident. Don't worry, just go into the light. So the stars calling. Papa. If you make the sound of the speaker, it's 12:33. So I will talk on the next link. It's about the snake. This will be for tomorrow. I want to do tomorrow. Now the next one. Some moment. What I about the soldier. You can already the capital letters. In German language, Soldat. People just don't know that there's the word sold in it. Even sold is a German word, but it's coming from English probably. The word soldier. And soldier in English says very clear, everybody must know you are sold. You sold yourself. And the soldier is somebody who sold his body, spirit, his body and his spirit together combined as a soul to the Lord of this world. And the Lord Satan, the devil, Lucifer, the Antichrist, demons from Persia, Ariman, Adonai, Elohim, the Freemasons worship, maybe also Yahweh, maybe also Allah, whoever, we don't know what the meaning of these words we really call upon. I think a more universal word would be more, or we call it Great Spirit. I think then we are more correct, or the Creator. the one who has created all these names, maybe Elohim and might. That's not Satan. It's our creator. Okay, I would call creator is better because for sure you can only worship the one who has, or the one that has created everything. This is the thing for and not the created. It's not the sun, not the S-U-N and not the S-O-N, yeah, which is one and the same. So Lucifer and Jesus are actually seen as the same thing. And the Jews all say it's a Roman idea, you know, to catch the European people with this. Anyway, so the word in English language means soul. That is I'm writing to the all people who work for this, especially now company, the Justice Department company, and all governmental institutions, all companies now registered. They are, yeah, I call them mercenaries. They are working for money. They are mercenaries of the money Jews, the coin Jews, I call them coin Jews, money Jews, or the whatever, financial establishment, whatever they call it. Yeah, many people might say, oh, there are also non-Jews. No, they're all Jews. Yeah. But you have also the crypto Jews who don't reveal that they're European. Yes, because Freemasons are all Jews. Yeah. I would like to drink a juice, an orange juice. Anyway, when these people who are also just sheeples, yeah, they are also just sheeples until the Pope actually. But they think they are the dog. But actually they are sheeps. And so when they don't work on this anymore, and this will happen because it's the enlightenment will come for everyone, yeah? Except those who are really honorable, they have to disappear. So when they don't do it anymore, then don't put energy into this energy, they will be more relaxed or whatever. Don't do evil things. Then the change will come. You know? So they don't need to. They have been removed as well, removed from their positions, or removed in another way. Go to the underworld. You don't need to kill them because then you are actually doing evil yourself. That's what, even though when you really know that these people are very evil, but this is what I cannot show. Really from the underworld or everyone is just playing this role, and the chosen people, they just have to work for Satan to make all these things happening that human can evolve to become man through the experience. So that's why I would decide not to fight, not to kill, not to wish them bad. It will all happen anyway, automatically. So then everything is over here, and we have peace under the leadership of the sheep of God. That means the sheep of God is the gives the guidance, and the sheep of God, we also name it Jesus. Jesus, je suis, I am, and this is the one who is following God. Jesus, the Christ. You can see here the word Christus, yeah? Christ, Christian, Christus. This is also in Indian language. You have this Krishna. This is actually the same thing. So you see that the languages are all connected, and actually the people are all praying to the same thing. So I asked the Creator to help the people who want to do the right things in the final struggle that they will endure. Yeah. So at that time when I was writing this, I still stick to this, but at that time I didn't know yet that the dawn is already there and that you actually don't need to fight anything. Yeah? You don't even need to fight with yourself, because you just decide to go. You just decide to go and go into the light. That's it. No need to do much about it. No. Don't think you change here the government or by voting, not anyway, but you have to change the system and to make a better world. This comes automatically. This is the good news about this. And the victory will be ours, because now the light is coming. In 1,000 years it will be different. Then the darkness will come again for the next generation, probably, to learn. There will be a new generation of monsters in 1,000 years, and so the devil will come out again with his demons and will do the same procedure. So against the breed of Satan. But it is also very important for you to understand that everything is created by God. That means also Satan is created by God. You can read it in the book of Job. And Satan is also just a slave of God. He is actually just doing what God is telling him. Yeah. So other people think he's the adversary of God. He's doing the opposite way as it should be, actually, but with human monsters, you might have to act like this. That's why God allows everything to happen, because you have to learn how things work. Yeah? And Satan, I would call Satan actually the dragon, the snake, as the great teacher. And is a very hard teacher with no mercy. Yeah. So when you worship Satan, he will still kick your ass. Yeah. So, and maybe also when you talk too much, like me now, he will send his demons in and will kick my ass. Yeah. And this this would clearly prove, okay, you went too far with this. Yeah. All these things can happen, and happen already. So in the name of God, the great Spirit, Amen. And Amen is also something, man. In this case it looks like the male, but I think it's more referring to man, to become a man. There are also some people who say, oh, this might be in the end, it might be Nema, whatever, and it means actually Satan. So with this, in the end, you worship Satan again. But for sure, very important is that you tell yourself, I don't want to worship Satan. I try also to establish my prayer in a way that I find is good for me. So don't copy just anything of the church, because they twist things around. Yeah? So it's better to find your own way, make your own connection to the Almighty God, and pray the way you want to pray. That's it. So I wish you a very nice day, and then I might see you tomorrow with part 3, the snake, about the refugees. Yeah, and then the next will be about the agenda, as you can see, the blue link. So tomorrow it might be not so long. You will see how it works, no? So have a nice day.